Ho ho ho, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special holiday edition of Dev Diary. But before we get into the festivities, let's get the usual out of the way first. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Now today we're doing something quite special because we're making a game featuring cameras that technically doesn't use any cameras. Let me explain. So recently, over the course of a few projects now, we've explored the concept of split-screen style games. A lot of things were tried and learned, and I highly recommend that you check them out if you haven't already, because we'll be using a lot of what we learned in those projects in today's project. And links to all those videos can be found in the description below. Which brings us to today's project. One that's simple in concept. The player controls 3 different teddy bears, all searching for specifically marked exits. These bears control with WASD, as one would expect in a top-down game, and that's really all they can do. If the current teddy manages to find a trapdoor emanating a similar colored glow to their own, that's their ticket out of there, and if not, the search continues. Now obviously, it's not as simple as finding the exit. Our plushy friends will have to avoid the grasps of a certain workshop overseer. It's Santa. The teddy bears have to avoid Santa. But fortunately for the bears, Santa's vision isn't the best. I don't know, maybe it's the red eyes. Either way, Santa's vision is based on direct line of sight. So as long as the player is within viewing distance and there is no present blocking Santa's line of sight, the player will be pursued. However, Santa also had one too many cookies recently, and so he's not able to chase the teddies for too long, opting to give up about 5 seconds after losing sight. Although, much like we've done in the past, Santa's AI actually always knows where the teddies are at all times, but is programmed to always just remain within range of being a danger. Now I should also mention that for any long-time viewers of the channel, these graphics may look familiar because these projects feature a lot of assets from previous holiday-themed projects, including a game that you can play for yourself, assuming it still works with modern machines, Boxed by Christmas. A link to that game can be found in the description and is where the bear and Santa sprites were first used. So back to the project. If Santa manages to catch a teddy, he will deactivate it. This removes the player's control, forcing them to control another bear until there are no more left to control. Anytime a teddy is removed from the game, it uses a global function to do so, which also does a game over check. This checks to see if any teddies still exist in the game, and if none exist, the game tallies up how many escaped and the game over state kicks in, to which the player can then hit spacebar and try again. Hey, if you enjoyed the content, supporting me on Patreon is the best way to help me keep making it. Doing so can get you access to exclusive content and downloads, and even early access to the weekly Dev Diary videos before they're released on YouTube. And that was the gist of the gameplay for this project. Nothing too crazy and arguably a bit simple for a Dev Diary project, but that was for good reason. Remember when I said that this game didn't use any cameras? That's technically true. While there is a camera used, it's a general one to make sure that the game displays at the proper size and aspect ratio. But each quote-unquote camera that follows the teddy bears around are not cameras. In fact, this is how the full game experience looks. So to simplify what's happening here, using the same methods we used in those previous split-screen game projects, the world is all drawn to one single surface. Then a struct is used to build our pseudo cameras. And so when one of these cameras are created, it also creates a teddy bear and an exit for that bear randomly somewhere in the world. We then use that pseudo camera as a way to switch between multiple characters. The best way to describe what's happening is imagine sitting really close to your monitor and literally having to move your head in order to see other parts of the screen. If it's still hard to imagine, the screens to the left are a prime example of this in action. Each screen focuses on an individual teddy bear, and they also keep track of Santa's position. But again, the catch here is that they all use the same exact image. They're just highlighting different spaces within that image. And one last fun fact, the player can also click between monitors to immediately switch to that bear's camera. So if the player sees Santa creeping on one of the other bears, they can jump right to them instead of having to toggle through the cameras numerically. Now if you want to get technical, yes, this is how GameMaker normally operates with the application surface. But this method takes that concept and allows it to be used in different ways, such as not needing to rely on GameMaker's camera system at all. It's a fun experiment that I'm hoping to explore further in the future. Like, there's a lot that I wanted to add to this project, but given how much time it took to figure this out and the holiday season obviously in general, this was all I was able to get to. So what do you think? What else could we do with this concept? What other types of games could utilize this type of, multiple views approach? I'm actually kind of thinking like a Five Nights Five Nights at Freddy's game would be kind of dope. I don't know, FNAF in 2025. Anyway, as always, be sure to leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments. But with that said, brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary Holiday Special. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful holiday and new year, and I'll see you next time.